find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. A moment ago, through a shower of pyrotechnics, it was the hometown Broncos taking the field as they get set to do battle with Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders. And off we go from Denver. And you combine a big leg with a mile-high air, there's the outcome. This will sail out of the end zone for a touchback. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
Yeah, I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big play there for the Raiders.
We expected this defense to be tested by this passing game coming into this one. And there's an example on this first possession of the game.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
So, Charles, for this offense, we've been talking all year about how difficult it would be to run the table. And you gave me your chances early in the year. You thought maybe 25%. A few weeks ago, you thought closer to 50, but not quite 50. Now here they are, 15-0. This is happening, isn't it?
I think it is, Brandon, because I do believe this team is too invested, too well coached to fall asleep at the switch now. And I think it ultimately benefits them to stay engaged all the way through the season, because make it to the finish line, then they get the open week to refresh and re-energize. But if you get off the gas now, that can really hurt you come playoff time.
Carr going to try and throw on 3rd down. And he will find his man Ruggs. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Henry Ruggs, his 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Raiders have taken the early lead. Extra point splits the uprights. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. They'll throw on 1st down with Trubisky. Flush to his right. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They go play action. Trubisky. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
This, the second meeting of these two teams. You might recall they met back in Week 5. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. 2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were very good in the victory a week ago over Cincinnati.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
He'll get that complete to Alberto. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable third down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
Now a first carry for the former Tar Heel, Javonte Williams. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked out before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Off the play fake. Here's Trubisky. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
On 3rd down, Trubisky. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Hobbs. And the Raiders are going to take over at their own 28-yard line.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
The tackle by Cole Holcomb.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 29-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Carr. He's going to air it out deep for Matthews. And it looked like he got the feet down, did he? Yes, it's a catch. And all the way down to the 29. It's a big play there for Vegas. How about this first quarter for them throwing the football?
This defense has zero answers for what they've seen so far with the ball in the air. I'm not sure how they're going to change things around, but offensively,
And this is caught. Touchdown. Wait, hold a second here. A flag down. Let's see if this will stand. And yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty. No question there.
You don't think they spent a couple of seconds mulling over what the penalty
I don't
would
even
do
know
for
why
them?
they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
Extra point safely through, and it's now 14-0. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. That's complete. Okuebunam. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Now this throw caught left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
Second and 10. Trubisky to throw again. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Thomas. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense, because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
And that is incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
The kick by McManus is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win.
After one, a 14-3 ball game. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Throwing now is Carr. Got a man, it's Darren Waller. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
They'll run on first down. Dunlap. And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. Another fine carry from the NFL's rushing leader, and quarterbacks typically dominating the MVP balloting, but I think you got to give this guy serious consideration, don't you?
I agree totally. I mean, he's leading the league in rushing, and let's face it, partner, the running back renaissance in the NFL, it's real. And it's really helping teams along the way. He's a prime example. Got to give him strong consideration for MVP talk.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. They'll try the left side. Dunlap. And some space here. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. The CD, I mean, there are touchdown runs, and then there are touchdown runs, and that one certainly fell into the latter category. And that deserves a couple exclamation points.
And this is a play defensively where you're just looking around and saying, what was that? What just happened? You're looking at your teammates, they're looking at you, and let's face it, your defensive coordinator, he's not going to tip his cap to him. That's not how football works. But he probably should have after that run. That was absolutely sensational.
And he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. Damon Arnett up to make the tackle. 2nd and 5. Trubisky will throw.
Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted.
Picked off by Nate Hobbs.
The 20. 5. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick six. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means.
And down he goes. Brought down a Raider sack. Malik McDowell, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Now it's Trubisky. Under pressure, they got him again. Max Crosby in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Trubisky now down around his goal line. And the pressure gets to him again. Malik McDowell make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
The Raiders take over first and 10 at the Broncos' 29-yard line.
On first down, Dunlap. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And Matthews has it right side. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. 2 yards the loss there, now 3rd and 14. Off play action. Dunlap. They'll roll him out right. And he nearly got the first himself, but it appears he's going to be about a yard or 2 short. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short, and it'll be 4th down.
Here we go. Here we go. 93. Here we go. Mike 56. Mike 56. Let's go.
They'll go for it. It's Carr. He's going to have his running back. It's complete.
I didn't like the play call. I loved it. Running situation for sure on 4th and short. They got the defense to commit too many men in the box to stop the run and have the guts to go for the pass instead. And as a result, they're set up 1st and goal.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Raiders are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Point after, right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Trubisky. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Merrick. And the Raiders are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. A good starting spot for the Raiders as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
3 yards remain for 2nd down. Hands it off out of the gun. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 90 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
They'll run on 1st down. Dunlap. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
They juked him. And he's got this down to the 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
A gain of 14. And the Raiders first down.
And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And that will finish off this 3rd quarter of play. So we have come upon halftime here in Week 17. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the 2nd half of Week 17 is underway. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely, but you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the 2nd half.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Well, the passing windows are just not there, and that's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
This will be caught. Judy. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Here's Trubisky to throw. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Mullen. And the Raiders are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the 3rd quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in, coming out to start this 3rd quarter, get a nice drive.
And now off to the races down the right side. 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. So there, Charles, I mean, a situation where it didn't matter how far he had to run, he was not going to be denied, and he winds up taking this all the way to the end zone.
And they've had little to no success stopping him on the ground all game long, because that's his third touchdown of the game, and by far the best touchdown of the bunch. They came in this game knowing that they needed to rely on him, and the defense knew they needed to slow him down, yet he's delivered in a big way, and he's been sensational.
And he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together Charles and the Raiders have got him. Malik McDowell in there to get him. And on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. He seemed to have a reasonable amount of time in the pocket, but he couldn't get rid of the football. And the end result, Charles, him on the ground.
Yeah, he's got to keep an internal clock to go along with his offensive line. When you're talking about 3, 4, 5 seconds, that's a reasonable amount of time to expect to deliver the ball downfield. So great to try and complete a pass, but it's equally important to know when to throw the football away, too.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Drops it underneath to Thomas. So nothing doing there. And that'll bring up fourth down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on third down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description, because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
56, right there, 56. I want that. Give me that ball, defense. Give me that ball. Give me that ball, defense.
And to give this time to the tailback. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
Watch the pass. 29 is the Mike. Mike 29. Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
They run the counter. Dunlap. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Las Vegas sending out their punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. That'll be a 41-yard punt, just 1 yard on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side, because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
Strip the ball. Strip that ball.
This is Thomas. And his bid for the first down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. It'll be a gain of 7, but I'd imagine we'll see the punt team here on 4th down. The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
They'll keep it on the ground. Dunlap, a very tough run, but for a short gain out near the 32.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Coming to you, coming to you. 29 is the Mike. Mike 29. All day, baby, all day.
On 3rd down, Dunlap. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On 1st down, Dunlap. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
And he'll get it out to midfield. Let's say, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. My goodness, 225 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
29 is the Mike. Mike 29. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home.
They'll run on 1st down. Dunlap. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Let's go, defense. Hey, man up, D. Man up, D.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
This is Smith. And some room to work. And he's going to get this inside the 30. This is where, 4th quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
You say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering whether they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 21-yard line.
Mike's 56. Hey, watch the slant. He's crashing. He's checking crash.
And now Waller going to have a chance to run this. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
On 3rd down, Dunlap. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd and goal now as they look to add a few more points here onto their total. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound.
Right there, 56. Let's go, defense. Let's get off the field, defense. 56, 56.
And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Calling no gain on the play, so no help there. And now 4th and goal. Such a long drive here. 3 points. That would be a disappointment, but I don't know if you can go for it here, can you?
Well, you know, the defense was really giving them a lot all the way downfield, and now they've stiffened. Forget that bend, don't break. Now they don't even want to let them get a yard, do they? So in this spot, you remember what the coaches told us before the ball game? Any drive that ends with a kick is going to be okay with us, whether it's a punt, a field goal, or an extra point. Take the field goal right here.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. Just too much to handle on the other side in this one. Give them a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. They run it again with Williams. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they?